I told Mommy I got hurt at Uncle George's house. She told me to put a bandage over it.
1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys will be sexually abused by their 18th birthday. Pledge to break the silence of child sexual abuse. Go to voicetoday.org and join the Voice movement today.
I'm so glad you're here. I'm Angela Williams, founder of Voice Today. Voice Today is a nonprofit organization that is breaking the silence and the cycle of child sexual abuse. Thank you for joining the Voice movement. By joining the movement, you are making a commitment to get educated and to get trained on how you can protect a child from child sexual abuse. In the next few moments, you're going to listen to our Power of Protection points, our POP points, which are going to educate you on how to protect a child in your home, in your neighborhood, in your community, in youth-serving organizations, and even your faith center. But this is just an appetizer. We have workshops that we would love for you to host to go deeper into the issue and deeper into what we can do as a community and as a society to protect children from child sexual abuse. We're about protection, but we're also about healing. And we want to come alongside those survivors who have been wounded and silenced, and we want to give them a voice. So thank you for joining the movement to give a voice to children, of protection, and a voice to survivors. We're going to dive right into our POP points, our Power of Protection points. The first point, number 1, is to monitor one-on-one interaction between an adult and a child. You may ask, how can I do this without offending someone when my child wants to spend time alone with an adult? Well, very easily, you can just drop in unexpectedly. You can ask the child, once they return, how the time was spent, what activities. Pay very close attention to their body language and to their eye contact. If the child is squirmish or can't really recount how the visit was, then that might be cause for concern. And you might want to continue and ask the child if anything happened that made them feel uncomfortable. So this is point number 1, to monitor one-on-one interaction between an adult and a child, because child sexual abuse takes place in secret behind closed doors. POP point number 2 is to teach your child that sex and any sexual conduct or coercion between an adult or even an older youth and a child is a crime. Child sexual abuse is a criminal act, and your child needs to understand that. POP point number 3, teach your child about personal boundaries and personal power. Be the source of information about sex. You see, our media has sexual influence everywhere we look, and that sexual influence is not always the right information that they need. So this will empower your child to understand what is appropriate behavior and what is inappropriate behavior. You may ask, how do I teach my child about personal boundaries and personal space and personal power? Jay, would you help me?
Sure.
Are you comfortable?
Yeah.
How about now? You see, I've just done a demonstration of how we can teach our child where their personal boundary is and that they have personal power to say no if someone is in their personal space and makes them feel uncomfortable. POP point number 4 is to give your child a plan of protection if they're threatened. We teach our children so many lessons to protect themselves, drop and roll out of a fire, look both ways when they cross the street, but we don't give them a plan of protection if they're threatened with sexual abuse. So there are 3 things that you need to teach your child. A, teach them to scream no, and I mean a forceful, guttural no that comes from deep within. B, teach them to run. Teach them to get out of the situation immediately, no matter what a perpetrator says. And C, teach them to tell until someone believes them. If they cannot escape an attack, please teach your children that it's never their fault and they have to tell you what has happened. POP point number 5 is to teach your child the proper anatomical names of their private parts. A penis is a penis, a vagina is a vagina. We tend to want to give them cutesy names, a dupa, a pocketbook, a wee-wee. If your child is threatened by child sexual abuse, they will be discredited in a court of law. It's extremely important that we remove the shame from our bodies and that we teach them the appropriate names of their body parts. POP point number 6 is that we have to start talking about child sexual abuse. Talk to your child about sex and sexual abuse and ask them if anyone makes them feel uncomfortable or has ever touched their private parts, or ask them to touch theirs. You have to be that direct. Pop point number 7 really plays off number 6. When you talk to your child, you need to make sure that they know that you will always believe them and that it is your job to protect them. Pop point number 8 deals with online threats of pornography and predators. We must keep the computer in a centralized location. We need to install content control and monitoring software. We need to set some parental controls and monitor all chat rooms, online messaging, email, and social networking sites. And this is just not for the computer. Your child can be exposed to pornography or be exposed to an attack from a predator on their cell phones and on gaming sites. So we need to make sure that we understand these threats and we're protecting our children online. Pop point number 9 is to teach your child to never keep secrets from you and to always tell you. No matter what threat has been leveraged against them or even leveraged against you or someone else they may love, they need to understand that they must never keep a secret, no matter who or no matter what, and that you will believe them. Pop point number 10 is to always act on suspicions of child sexual abuse. A moment of indecision may cost a child his or her innocence for a lifetime. It is so important that you don't react with fear or panic or even denial because it may be painful to face the disclosure. We at Voice Today want you to know that we're here, ready with resources to walk you through this because it's so important that you protect a child, that you believe a child, and that you give a child their voice. So act on any suspicion and intervene and be the safe person in that child's life. Thank you so much for taking your time to listen to our Pop Points, the power of protection. But that's just the beginning. There's so much more that we together need to learn about child sexual abuse. We have a number of prevention resources and a number of healing resources. Continue to share the information and come alongside of us in joining the Voice movement to break the silence and the cycle of child sexual abuse.
I told Mommy I got hurt at Uncle George's house. She told me to put a bandage over it.
1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys will be sexually abused by their 18th birthdays. Only 1 in 10 will ever tell. 90% of abusers are someone they know and trust. Voice Today is breaking the silence of child sexual abuse through awareness, prevention, and healing programs. Go to voicetoday.org and join the Voice movement today.
This victim feels no more pain. A victim of child sexual abuse feels pain for the rest of their life. 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys will be sexually abused by their 18th birthday. Only 1 in 10 will ever tell. Pledge to break the silence of child sexual abuse. Go to voicetoday.org and join the Voice movement today.